Really don't have a whole lot to add to some of these positions. Just kind of waiting for some things to happen. Like RTX, is this going to go higher than 144? Is it going to hit 150 in our trend line again? Just waiting for that to happen. SNSE, is this going to get back above VWAP? Waiting for that to happen. Sabre, is it going to break over this trend line after testing it twice, or is it going to come back in to the 125 area, maybe even VWAP for support? Waiting for that to happen. So just a lot of waiting right here with a lot of these names we've been looking at.
I'll tell you what, the trend line there on Sabre, that was absolutely the sell spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. PanW getting rejected at that trend line as we speak. I noticed that Wingstop was on here, but it just disappeared on me.
It flew away. Now it looks like we're getting a little bit more weakness in some of these names as we approach the 10:30 volume exit moment.
And SPY here sitting right at 688. So we did continue the rally here. Doing a good job flagging higher than this. We'll see here on SPY. Would love for a move above 690. I don't know if we'll get that here today. So far, so good, though. Breath is good across the board.
Yep.
All right.
Hopefully it's just a pullback we get, and then we can push higher later on. But yeah.
Any closing words for the group before we get over to story trading here? Ooh, I didn't mean for me to be that big. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, keep an eye on RXT. I heard that they're coming out with some kind of undergarment, a bra perhaps. So keep an eye on that for any headlines. Given that their name is Rackspace Technology, I would imagine that kind of fits well within their wheelhouse. So take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure that you aren't sticking around in these positions because it seems like these are volumes really starting to drift, and we could end up seeing some of these sell-offs. So keep your capital around. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll trade some more. Take care.
All right, 13 really good stuff here today. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. All right, folks, it is time to move over to story trading. I don't see Ben, but we'll bring on Rhett here. What happened there? There's Rhett. I see Ben here, but I don't see his camera on. We'll also bring on Laptop Travel. We'll see how he's doing. Up there's Ben. There we go. There's Ben. How you guys doing here today?
What's up?
Pretty good, Ryan.
Doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. PanW earnings, that was an all right trade here so far. What do you guys got coming up?
I don't know, man. It's 10:30, and the market is laptop and Rhett. This so many times has reversed at 10:30. Is the party over for today? I don't know.
Are you asking us? It looks like it may start curling over here. So we had some resistance around 608 on the Qs. We're starting to see this turnover now, but at the same time, I think we could possibly bounce as well. This market is pretty strong and a lot of good looking charts out there today.
So, all right, let's start with the Qs and USO and war and everything like that. So this chart all of a sudden turned okay. All right. I've been bearish Qs for several days now correctly. But I've been saying there's still risk to 580. And I think that risk to 580 is still there, but man, it looks so much better. The daily chart all of a sudden today looks so much better. I'm not sure the reason for it. I wrote in the morning note about this 245 billion in treasury bills that matured yesterday. Maybe that injecting some liquidity into the market. But the daily chart at the moment looks so much better, but you got to be cognizant of risk to the downside with Iran possibly getting kinetic. I mean, USO up 3%, while my timeline since yesterday has just exploded regarding the major buildup of U.S. aircraft into the Middle East. Poly market also for the first time exploding this morning with the odds of a strike on Iran really going up, really going vertical here today. So that's a worry. But you can't deny that for the moment, the daily chart on the Qs looks so much better. And then when you drill into specific charts, almost every chart's the same, which is basically, it looks like everything is heading towards the moving average above, right? So like for AMPX, 50 DMA would be your target there at 250. Let's see, ASTS again, that 50 DMA or the gap fill there is your target. I mean, there's so many charts that look like this right now. But I worry a little bit, I'm kind of just like scalping. rather than saying the bottom's in, just because I think no matter how good this chart looks like, you can get an overnight gap down to 580 if there's war in Iran. And by the way, that would be a crazy buying opportunity. You buy the crap out of that if that happens, in my opinion. So I don't know. That's my overall thoughts there. Laptop, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I've been very cautious in the last several days, ever since the great spikes with silver. And
Exactly. That's when our cautiousness started. We actually timed it to the day on silver. I wrote a note. I went to like yellow alert. I'm like, I said something looks like it's about to break, and that was the day that silver peaked. I'm like, because when you get like crazy parabolic moves like that, well, that's what happens. Things break because that starts like margin calls, either direction, right? You get this craziness that happens. It never ends well when you get parabolic moves like that. So that is exactly. Thanks for reminding me. That's when we started getting cautious.
yeah, and I think it's just a lot of things are going on. There is no interest rate decision this month. It's February. We'll get an FOMC meeting in March, but we're still going to get some economic data coming in, especially this Friday. Still, this ongoing conversation about AI overspending. I think even the government has said Trump believes that, was it Trump or the government? Somebody said that AI is a drain on the national grid, and that consumers are paying for that, and we need to figure out a way around that. So, uh, a lot of concerns with AI spending, capex, and it seems like every day there's a new AI, a new AI name that comes out, and we hear about these deals. And of course, geopolitical concerns that you talked about with Iran. Everyone's got a wait and see attitude. I'm in that camp. I was almost 100% in cash early this morning after making one or two good trades, and now I am cautiously going back in the market. I couldn't turn away from the moves today. Very positive, but I'm very cautious here.
Yeah.
I do think to answer your question about have we hit the peak here today? No, we see a lull. It's the not midday, but it's the morning pause. I think around what I consider East Coast lunchtime, and that I think that the markets, barring anything happening geopolitically with Iran in the next few hours, I think the market goes for higher highs today, and then we hold our breath again overnight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think here it is, that 20 DMA on the Qs. That could potentially be the target. And again, so many charts have that similar trajectory with that target just being the moving average just above it. Um, so very, very interesting setup. Brett, what are your thoughts?
In terms of the indices, I think we're gonna probably go up and touch the 20-day moving average as well. The charts are looking strong. Like Nvidia chart looks pretty good. It's breaking out of this consolidation area. Apple's been very resilient in this market. In terms of today, I think we probably will test 260, 655 for Apple. If we continue this move to the upside. And then if we can break through that, I mean, it's off to the races.
Wow, man, this Apple chart's so volatile. I haven't even looked at this craziness over here with Apple. Wow.
But yeah, we did a nice bounce area on Nvidia, so that is nice to see. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Cool.
And we do have the Apple event coming, I believe March 4th. So there's always a lot of optimism heading into that event.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's drill into a couple specific names. I'm just going to start. I'm not organized. I usually try to organize my watch list beforehand, but I didn't get to it today. So I just want to start with a couple war hedge ideas that I really, really like. One of them that I've been playing very successfully, which is RTX. Another one, ESLT. So actually, let me do ESLT first. Well, actually, let me look. Let me show you the swatch list of the majors. Right, you can see Lockheed Martin all-time new high today. Okay, Northrop Grumman almost there. RTX almost there. Okay, but now we have this ESLT, which is an Israeli major. We'll call it a $33 billion market cap, which has had two significant contracts on back-to-back days. Okay. Yesterday on ESLT, they got a $435 million in contracts. Okay. And then today they announced another 277 million in contracts. So that's like 700 million in contracts over 2 days. But just look at this chart. It needs to catch up with the majors, right? They're all basically at all-time new highs or right about, but ESLT used to be at 740, pulled back here to 715 with an RSI that looks really constructive. It's not overbought again yet. And the best part, if there is going to be action in Iran, Israel will for sure be deeply involved. The Air Force will be deeply involved, and the IDF. So that's going to improve sentiment, which it has in the past. With I don't know if you can pinpoint where was it. It was probably June. When was that 12-day war? Was it in June that 12-day war? Is probably here. It was probably this gap up. Okay, so let's see. It closed at 430, and then 2 days later it was 474. In 2 days, you got a $45 move after that 12-day war started. I think that's probably the date there. So I think you're going to see the same thing. I think this is a great war hedge, and I'm going to actually. I decided I'm going to swing it. I got in at 710 this morning, and I just alerted the Discord community that I'm going to swing this for a target of 740 plus. So that's a great war hedge. Okay. Another war hedge that I've been playing very successfully is RTX. Buying the dips, and it keeps coming back, buying the dips, selling the rips. I've been doing it with call options, 200 strike to a 250 strike to a 5 strike, the weeklies. This week I'm focused on rolling into the next week's 205s. I think Laptop, you were interested in that as well. So here's another one that looked poised to me to break to a 650 even without a war, right? All the other ones just did it, or about to a break to all-time new highs. And this one fundamentally has the most to benefit from a war that's heavy on missiles and missile defense. RTX is the one that's going to have the most revenue replenishment from all of those missiles and anti-missile defense systems. So this, you're going to see 650 at any time. And then if there is a war, if you want to hedge, this thing's probably going to gap over 210 easily the morning after if Iran gets kinetic. So those are two war hedge ideas for you. Speaking of hedges, I think it's a good time to bring up TLT here. This is actually my largest position is TMF, which is 3 times TLT right now. This is a new cover. I don't think we talked about this last Wednesday because this break above the 200-week moving average happened late in the week last week. And also, I think it was Thursday, there was a very strong bond auction, like kind of unprecedented numbers. So very strong bond auction, CPI coming in light. We have starting to hear increased chatter about the deflationary impact of AI. Okay, something, I've always believed in productivity offsetting inflation and not really having too many worries long-term about inflation. And now people specifically attributing that to AI and the deflationary impact on AI because of automation. So you have all these factors coming together for bullish bonds, and then you have this 200-week moving average break. Guess what? The last time you broke above the 200-week moving average, 7 years ago, guys. You got to go back 7 years ago right here for the last, this is December 2018, for the last break above the 200-week moving average. And look what happened. It back tested it here a little bit on March 1st, but it was basically off to the races for, I think that was 9 months, December through August, call it 8 months. In 8 months, TLT rose 20. Oh, kept on going. Sorry, 8 months rose 20%. And then what is that? Hold on. From December through 2020, is that a year and a half? Year and 3 months? 50%, 60% move in like 15, 16 months. So it went on this bullish cycle. We may be at the start of that. TLT right now, I'm playing it via TMF, 3x lever TLT alongside is basically my cash position now in my trade account. So I have a big position. I'm treating it like cash. I'm also in some August TLT call options, or was it December? Let me see. Let me just double check what I got on TLT here. It's November November 20th, $100 calls. So November 20th, $100 calls. If past this is precedent, then those can pay 5, 6, 7 times by the time November rolls around. So also a good hedge for war, flight to safety. So I'm all hedged up with ESLT and RTX and TLT. So that's that. But then you got today's beautiful move in the Qs. Look at that while we're talking Qs. You were right there, laptop, but just a little rest and then popping right back up again. So I don't know. I think I said this at the top of the show. I'm really kind of scalping in my look. My long-term account's my long-term account. I don't trade much in there. Okay. And it's up. I'm up about 3% today. So I'm enjoying the benefits of that today. In my trade account, I'm still being very cautious. I do think, we have a reprieve here today and tomorrow if there's no overnight action in Iran. But my mentality is more just like intraday scalps and swings. And maybe I'm making a mistake and leaving a lot of money on the table. But that's my thoughts. I'll pause there.
Yeah. By the way, your example on the Treasury, the TLT, that was actually a 53% run.
Wow. Yeah, over like, what was it, 12, 14 months or something like that. That's crazy. That's a huge run. If you can time treasuries with options, you get paid big because the options on TLT are usually very cheap.
I see 20 months.
20 months, yeah. 50% over 20 months. That's massive. Yeah. I mean, let's see. If that happens again, 50% over 20 months, you're talking about $135. And if you go 20 months out, $135, even if you get these leaps. All right, let me just see. I'm not going that far out, but if you get these leaps, it's a 10-time return. 10-time return on these call options. So I'm the November. Hopefully we'll get a 10-time return in the November ones. We'll see. All right. So that's that. I'm going to pause there. I mean, there's a lot of individual stocks. I'm sure we'll talk about it. MU, my largest position in my retirement account, doing great. Let me just touch on Netflix actually before I turn over to you guys. I am in Netflix. I bought call options yesterday. I added to my call options today. And now that the market's kind of turned, I'm kind of even more bullish about this short term. We've had a series of opinions which kind of match my own that has come out since yesterday from the co-CEO of Netflix on CNBC yesterday, Gary Black this morning, and myself. And that opinion basically says that with this 7-day extension or waiver that Netflix put out there for Paramount to make a bid for Warner, that's basically, I'm viewing that as the final timeline. And that after these 7 days, which is now 6 days left, I guess, that this uncertainty will be gone. Either Netflix will buy them or they won't, right? So we're nearing the end of this period of uncertainty. And I really do believe, and I've said this throughout this decline here, that the drop has been more about just uncertainty rather than they hate the deal or they love the deal. I know there's also some drop here about AI and the impact on video. That may be having an impact as well, video content creation. But I think the primary reason for this is uncertainty of this deal. And now there's only 6 days left to have certainty. I think the bottom may be in for Netflix. I'm in $78 weekly calls right now. With a little bit of luck, who knows? Maybe we can hit the 20 DMA by the end of this week there at like $81. Turn it over to you guys.
Okay. I'll talk about what I see as scalping and trading right now. Yeah, great today. The market looks good. Again, I like the caution no matter what. It's always caution flags up on the field about Iran. That changes anything. However, a huge dip by the dip. But day by day, I think we have to be aware of how institutional money is looking at things. So Friday we have the GDP release in So we need to look at that. Personal income and spending also comes out. I believe they both come out at 8:30 in the morning on Friday morning. And then we have the
Wow, look at
University of
USO.
Michigan.
Sorry, I'm just sorry. USO for me, this is your main signal, and it's a great one. And you don't even need to look at your news feed to see like what's going on with Iran. The price action in USO tells you all you need to know about the risks of an Iran attack. So just keep that on watch. Sorry, go ahead.
And then also, University of Michigan comes out with their consumer sentiment final review. So, the focus for the GDP and the December price index is, we're looking for reasonable numbers in the 2.5 to 2.8 range. And talking about inflation and deflation, we're looking for those numbers to be in 2.9 to 3%. So numbers outside of that could have a reaction. I think the market's looking for any kind of news. When it comes to defense stocks, I really, really like RTX. For people maybe you're not familiar with the name, Raytheon.
Look at it
Called
go.
Raytheon. Everyone knows Raytheon. And I think I love that stock.
Well, get it go. Did he pick up some of these calls on the dip there?
Me?
Yeah.
I did not. I stuck with my original calls.
Yeah. Yeah, Raytheon, special place in my heart. My father used to work for them. Yeah.
My dad worked for Lockheed Martin.
Really cool.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. We got something in common there.
Yeah.
My dad's a
Yeah,
civil
I'm
engineer.
still holding on to the 205 February 27th for RTX.
Yeah, that's the one I've been loading up on today. I got my average down to let me see. Got my average down to 320. 320. What you're in at 365, I think?
My cost is 365. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right at the midpoint. So I'm break even with my average downs I did this morning. But I'm in the 200 calls expiring this week as well, which I'm up nicely on.
FIG just had news, Claude partnership.
Who?
FIG.
Fig. Oh, Fig is. I've never researched this, but Fig was the news this morning. Oh, look at that. Another chart moving right to the 20 DMA, 2490. Let's pull up Benzinga Pro here. Fig. I actually don't see it on Benzinga yet.
It came from Oracle NYSE. Someone just posted it in there.
Okay, it's in our Discord. Not yet on Benzinga Pro. But some news on Fig. I've never looked into this. There's been a lot of chatter about it. Something wrong with my chart. How do I fix this? What's going on?
Someone's asking in the chat a little bit ago. They're asking about PBI. I know you commented about that earlier.
Yeah. PBI they had earnings last night. I think it's an excellent stock for a portion of your retirement account. Like, I haven't been disciplined about this, but I should be. I should take a portion of my retirement account and put it things like dividend payers, high cash flow companies. Like, I should have had Zim in there. I would have had PBI in there. I did have PBI for an extended period of time in my retirement account, but what's wrong with my chart? I got to reset this. There's a button here somewhere. Where's that button to reset this? Oh, auto. Okay. So yeah, I didn't have it into this earnings report. My kids did though. They've had it for like a couple years, but a very interesting situation. It's not sexy. It's not a growth company, but the cash flow they're throwing off is just insane, and the amount of buybacks they're doing is crazy. Like, they can buy back like 20% of the company over the next 12 months, and they've already bought back a significant portion of it. So you'll see the stock kind of being forced up and to the right over time just because of the cash flow and the buybacks. But the top line revenue keeps declining, and so it's not sexy, and it's not going to go to like $20 unless they get that top line to accelerate again. There is a big short position because of that. So from time to time, you can have some interesting price action in it. But as far as like today, I have better things to do. As far as like a retirement account stock, and again, if that's what you want a portion of your retirement account to be cash flow, dividends, lower risk. you can put some PBI in there for sure. And it was a good report, but unfortunately, revenue is still just drip, 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 declining until they have some plans. They're trying to turn that around, but it's just not happening yet. So that's my thoughts on PBI. Man, and look at this USO, so strong here this morning. TL, I just feel so good having my cash position be TLT right now. It feels great. All right. Just a couple other things I wanted to get to here. Let's see. Those Qs look really strong. Jeez Louise. Of course, RXT we played this morning a little bit. Rackspace, I used to be a customer of theirs for a dating site that I own. Great service, really great hosting company. But I think little by little, they're just losing money to Amazon Web Services. It's really good for companies that don't have a strong in-house IT staff. They're basically your IT staff on call 24/7. Amazing, amazing customer service. You're not going to get that from AWS. We did eventually switch to AWS because we have someone take care of that interfacing, handling those issues. But at one point, we just felt really comfortable having Rackspace because of the, unparalleled customer service they have for hosting. Really, really amazing. I can't say enough about it. But over time, the revenue drip, 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 going down little by little. Right? You can see the PS ratio here is extraordinarily low because they have a lot of debt. Okay, I'm not sure how much debt, but it's like in the billions. That's why their PS ratio is like 0.12. Okay, might make it look attractive superficially, but they got to start paying off that debt. This deal with Palantir lifts sentiment, right? I jumped in here. Usually I avoid shitcos, but this one I knew it was not a shitco. I know they have a debt problem, but it's a real company with a great product. So jumped in this morning at 66 cents. Got an average exit up there, probably in the 120s. Laptop, you did great. What was your exit? Was it 136? Was it
80% at 134 and the rest at 136?
Yeah, so that was great. So for now, this is like a sentiment play based on the Palantir headline, but this partnership with Palantir will not bring in significant revenue in the near term that can address the debt problem. So it's a little bit tricky. I think there may be some. Who knows? I don't know. We'll look at it. Because I exited this in pre-market after a nice win, but then I got back in because I was looking at the strength intraday. So maybe there's more opportunities today, but I just would not necessarily call this a turning point for the company. I would have to research it more. I just don't know enough about it. But if this was a revenue deal, for sure. If this was a revenue deal, I'd still be in it probably. But there's no revenue yet with this Palantir deal. So I would say, like, who knows, like 180, and it might be in play anyway. Laptop. Look at the weekly chart. 180 could be in play. 186. But because there's no revenue attached to this, I just don't have the conviction. There's probably going to be a lot of shorts in this name who still knock this down because they're worried about the debt, rightfully so. But a very interesting developments here with RXT, interesting price action, and we'll be looking at this afternoon. You think there's going to be more opportunities in this today, or are we done with it?
I feel like we're pretty much done with it. A lot of people made good money and will be turning it over.
Yeah, I made good money on it today. So, but we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, I got to mention a couple other names. By the way, in my morning note this morning, FTAI was a top pick with a $300 target. We hit 298. So CDZI was a top pick with a 550 target. We hit 546. Quick. Okay. Interesting, man. I've talked about this on this show before, and I've held a core for probably a couple months. And yesterday I noticed this crazy candle. And then today they had some news, continuation of the great news that they've had a contract with the government for radiation hardened chips, which is for space use. This is a hidden space play. And I just, I'm very happy holding a core position in this because I think at $131 million market cap and the size of these contracts they're getting here, $13 million here this morning. Let me pull up Benzinga Pro for a second on this. They've had now multiple contracts. So this is 13 million. But on Thursday, December 18th, it said QuickLogic expands prime U.S. government contract scope, raising the ceiling value to $88 million. Okay, so part of that $88 million ceiling, they just got 13 of that 88 million here today. So I really think that this stock has not participated. Let's go to the space stocks here for a second. You know, when you look at, especially, by the way, this Quick, okay, they've been working with SkyT on this project. Okay, so Quick and SkyT are partners in this particular project. But Quick is the lead. Okay, Quick is the, I guess, you know, I'm not too familiar with the government terminology and everything, but they're the prime. What's it called? Anyone know what this is? They're the prime, whatever. They're the prime, and SkyT is like the partner.
Vendor?
Yeah, they're the prime vendor, I guess, for this, and SkyT is the partner on it. And you see what happened to SkyT. Eventually, I think they got bought out. It doesn't look like they're bought out by that chart. Must be a stock. Must be a stock deal. Who bought them? I forget. Do you remember who bought SkyT? Let's see here. SkyT. Where is it?
IONQ.
IonQ bought them. It must have been a stock deal based on the stock chart here, not a cash deal or a hybrid that's mostly stock. But in any case, yeah,
It
you
was
saw
cash
how
and stock.
cash and stock.
I remember.
So
Yeah.
might be an arb opportunity in there. But in any case, like look at SkyT versus Quick. You know, especially if you pull out a little bit and look at the market caps, you know, and look at like Lunar or look at Fly. Wow, Fly really came back down. Jeez Louise. Remember, this was a January effect pick for us initially that did pretty good. But I just think the hype has not come to Quick yet, and I think it can easily come to it. So I've been saying for a while that I'm going to hold on a core until we get some volume in this name and social media chatter and a move towards $10. That's my thought process on Quick. They also do have earnings March 3rd, though, so that's something that could either enhance that thesis or take away from it. So we'll have to decide what to do around that earnings report. But Quick, now you have two things. You have this candle here with volume coming out of nowhere, plus you have the contract, 13 million contract this morning on $131 million market cap on an $88 million potential deal with the U.S. government on space chips, right? You'd think there'd be a lot more hype around this name, and I think it's going to come. So I'm going to hold a core in Quick until that hype comes around to Quick.
Yeah, and Quick is back on the terminology. They are a prime contractor, official term with U.S. government, which means they have a direct, legally binding contract with the federal government, as opposed to others which are preferred vendors, which you can or cannot use.
Wow, that's great. That's beautiful, Quick. As we see, QQQ is still rising, and AMPX, one of my favorite stocks right now. And I'm wondering if I just don't have enough exposure. I mean, this is actually my biggest winner of the year so far is AMPX. We really did a great job riding this from the trigger was when they announced that their ATM was canceled. That's when I really piled into this. In fact, let's look up that date here on AMPX. It must have been somewhere end of December, early January. Let me see if I can find it here. And here it is. Okay, it was January 12th is when I really jumped into Quick. So a little bit late here. Okay, it was right here. Okay, January 12th where I jumped into Quick with size, and it ended up this move from about $10 to almost 15 with call options as well. Ended up being my biggest winner of 2026 so far and helping me outperform for the year up. I don't know, what am I up? Like 35, 36% year to date right now. A lot of that was because of AMPX. and I have it in my retirement account as well. This thing's been beaten down to a pulp. Oh my gosh, from 15. When is their earnings report? Earnings report March 2nd to March 6th coming up soon. So I don't know. I wonder if I should have a bigger core right now, guys. I worry about when I look at the daily chart, although this looks to have resolved. Like before this candle today, looking at these red candles here, although that was a nice maybe turnaround candle. I've been worried, and I put it in even in the morning note, I think, that there's risk a downside risk to 850, which is a 200 DMA. And I think that could transpire if there was an attack on Iran and if QQQ gapped down in the low 580s, then you would see AMPX gap down to 850. Maybe I'm being too cautious, guys. Should I be like loading up on AMPX right now?
Brett?
I mean, look, I own this one long term. The chart, I think long term it's great, but I mean, if the market can, like with the news, if news comes out with war and all that, I think it's going to get pulled down even farther. So that's just my thoughts. I would really love to pick it up if we get down near like 850s. If war headlines do break out, I think we probably would see that level. And once it gets on the daily near the 200-day moving average, that's when I'll add more. I'm actually underwater on this name actually at the moment. In my
Yeah, I hear you, but it may not happen. It may not happen. I'm in the April 17th $12 call, so I am swinging a core there, but it's like small. I have a 0.9% allocation. Like when I made this big money here, I was at like 10-15% common shares, 2-3% call options, and it really helped make my year so far. Right now, all I have is less than a 1% position in call options right now. What do you think, Laptop? Is it time to load up into a bigger swing position, or am I doing the right thing, playing it cautious?
I would play cautious at this time. Here's what I think. I mean, I'm trying to stay in as much cash as I can. Yeah, I'm doing these trades when I feel very confident in the trade, but I'm staying in cash because I'm anticipating something to happen with Iran.
Look at
And
the
the second that
cues.
it does, and there's a drop,
Yeah.
then I'm going in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a better play for me with the numbers financially.
And what
The
happens if
gains.
we're wrong? What happens if and is it
You're gonna
possible?
lose money by being wrong.
Yeah. But
But if you go in and you're wrong, then you're gonna lose money.
and then the other thing is it possible that you go into Iran, but the market doesn't gap down? It's just like gaps up. Is that
Yeah,
possible?
that's I could see that. I could see that happening in 30 minutes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I tend to agree with that. I tend to agree that the pre-market, if it's an overnight action, the pre-market you'll be down sharply, and that'll be an amazing buying opportunity. Amazing.
exactly.
You
Just
gotta, yeah, make sure you
have to
have
be
your
awake
cash
with it.
ready and you pounce on that like crazy. Yeah, that's been the pattern. The pattern has been anytime there's military action, the pre-market's always down big, and then it recovers big. So I'm counting on that same thing to happen again. So,
I I do want to put a plug in for Intel
yeah, let's do it.
because Nvidia's, bought more of
That's
Intel
right. Yeah, I saw that last night.
and they've got a huge order with now Meta, Facebook, and for Nvidia, and they're going to rely on Intel, I guess, to help with that. So I think Intel's been run down a little bit, and I think it's a good opportunity here to buy Intel. The government has
Yeah.
a stake in it. Nvidia has a stake in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I own Intel since the government got involved in my long-term account. Um, wait a second. I think I may have reduced it. Hold on. Let me just check my retirement account here. Intel's a great one. Really like it with the government support and Nvidia support. Ooh, when did I do that? I did reduce Intel. Maybe I'm gonna pick it back up here and increase my position again. It must have been when the market started turning and I was raising a little bit of cash. Wow. I'm gonna step back in and buy a little bit of Intel here. Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that here. And I'm not too price sensitive in my long-term account.
Yeah.
I make changes now and then to raise cash, but this is not. I don't want to play with this trade plan that we have on war. Like, I don't want to mess with that with my retirement account. That's for my hot money short-term account. So I don't care if I buy it a little bit higher here right now. Thanks for that reminder, because I do really like Intel, and my position size kind of small. All right, good. So I just added more Intel to my retirement account there. Thank you.
And I see we have a comment. I was with this stock before. We had a comment from Billy, uh, who says FJet space stocks. Yeah, this is that crazy company. If you look at the chart, it went ballistic right after the IPO. I
It's
think
on my list.
it came out at like $10. Was the IPO and ran up to
Starfighters. Oh, right,
32?
Starfighters.
Yeah, now the last 3 days, it's on a tear again.
Oh wow! Oh wow! 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 We missed this. Doubled in 2 days.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I
they're
don't know.
because they're going to be launching rockets supposedly from fighter jets. A different style.
Hmm.
Get fighter jets up to altitude, and you need less fuel to
Mm-hmm.
do a vertical launch. So
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I can chase it here right now. But congrats if you saw that. Look at that. Not only it went to the 20, but it broke the 20. Was there any news that catalyzed that? Let's see. FJet. Nothing official in the news feed. Oh wait, hold on. No, I don't see anything official. SpaceX IPO chatter has space stocks stuck on the pad. So yeah, there's been SpaceX, a lot of chatter around that with increasing valuations. I see some chatter that maybe can even IPO at $3 trillion. So maybe that's helping some outperformance in space stocks here.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Redwire. When
Redwire
you
is
see that?
another one. Yeah, Redwire is another one that can make a move to that 50 DMA. 890 could be seen today. 890 next target on Redwire.
And that was a
Uh,
great stock for us for a January pick.
it that was my biggest winner until I met AMPX. Yeah, but so Redwire, I'm in $10 March calls on Redwire, which I'm underwater on right now. You know what? Maybe I'll add a little bit more. Average down. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit more Redwire right now. Because my average is $1.07 on those $10 calls in March. And I just added more. Don't know what my average is yet. It takes time for that to be calculated. But cool. Nice call out there. Rat, what's up with you? You've been quiet.
Yeah, kind of not doing much today. Was not really expecting these big moves today, so caught me off guard. Just kind of sitting on the sidelines at the moment. Nothing. I don't want to like chase anything up here. The only thing does look good probably to make new all-time high. I mean, not all-time highs, but highs for the day is going to be MU. SanDisk printed new highs a little bit ago. MU
Oh,
looks
wow.
like it's going to do the same. The chart looks pretty
Wow.
decent there.
Yeah, that looks, wow, look at that.
I'm kicking myself for selling those ASTS calls that I bought yesterday. Not swing those into today.
I'm in some ASTS common right now that I'm trying to day trade, but my entry was not great. I kind of got in late today. But yeah, I mean ASTS again, maybe it can make it to I would say the target would be 88 to 91. 88 to 91 today or tomorrow if there's no
yeah, definitely I agree there.
You know what? We're talking about, like, even if there's an Iran thing, that'll be mostly, the drop would be mostly pre-market. So I would say, even if there is, like, you could still see, I would say 88 to 91 is your target regardless on ASTS right now. I would say end of week target, 88 to 91. So a few more
You,
bucks.
you make a plug for ASTS. I'm going to make a plug for EchoStar ASTS.
SATS, right?
Yeah, it's about to break out of this
Oh, wow. Look at
downward
that.
trend.
Yeah, that chart
I'm
looks a
looking
little
at
better.
145 in the near term.
Wow. Wow. I like this. And this is probably getting some strength on again, because SpaceX saying they're getting to drones now as well. They made the shift from Mars to Moon, and then also they're making a play into the drone TAM as well. So I think that's
And
all helping the chatter about the IPO valuation, and that's going to help the SATS. How much SpaceX they own?
2.9%, I believe.
Of SpaceX.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot. 3% of a trillion. What is that? That's like 30 billion times. You could be talking about 50, 60, 70, 80 billion dollars potentially in SpaceX, right? And a market
Yeah.
cap of 33 billion.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something I think I got to consider. I missed the whole write up on the first run up with the SpaceX chatter. This looks like a really nice setup right here.
Elon's been talking up solar, and watch solar make a
Mm-hmm.
big play in these in the exploration or colonization of the moon, and
Mm-hmm.
also with these satellite or there's still satellite data centers that they're talking
Yep.
about. It's all going to be solar powered, and Elon is already working on the the next tier
Yeah.
solar.
Yeah, and that's I think Redwire could be part of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I think that was part of what caused this spike to 1450. Was a lot of speculation or just thesis that they have some solar technology that can be helpful in space-based data centers. I don't know the technology or the story well, but that's part of why we had that run up there. So
And honestly, I'm not Trump, sorry, Elon has been relatively quiet. He hasn't really come out and said a lot of stuff like he did during the summer. And I'm it- the guy's not going to sit still for long, right? You watch when he has all of his ducks in a row, he's going to come out with a whole bunch of tweets, and things are going to move. His stocks are going to move.
wow, look at MU, look at the Qs. I mean,
Yeah, MU is great.
things are looking great. I wish I had MU on my trade account right now. Damn.
Yeah,
I've been
that's a
staring at it
$24
all
move.
morning, man. All morning I've been looking at
Yep, there's
MU.
your new high for the day.
Yep, look at that. Look at that top breakout. Holy smokes. Is that the Qs also doing that? Pretty much. Very
Yeah, I was
similar.
gonna say it's all relative. I mean, Qs are about to hit high a day as well here coming up.
Yeah.
609.48. We're at 609.25.
Look at FJET popping on that. So
Yeah.
things are really moving right now.
It says that the reason the market's moving today is because of good economic data on December capital goods new orders.
Whatever, that's just an excuse.
December housing starts.
Someone's asking about VVPR. VVPR. Oh, this is a therapeutical company.
Yeah, I don't know it. I'm not
No, wait,
familiar.
hold on. No, this isn't therapeutical.
34%.
VVPR.
Isn't this like a patent company or something? No,
Vivo
sustainable
Power
energy,
International PLC.
EVs. I've actually, I don't know this company at all. Vivo Power. Wow, look at this
VVPR.
move. 120 to 327. Holy smokes. VVPR. See what Benzinga has to say about that.
Isn't that the company that made the was doing electric engines or something in Canada? No.
Looks like there is
UK.
looks like the board of directors, maybe some, are these insider buys? Hold on.
Yeah, you got Laptop
Yeah, yeah.
travel, right? It's
Insider
electric.
buys. So he had 2.65 million shares worth of insider buys by a few people on the board of directors. That's what's catalyzing this move here on VVPR. But wow, nice weekly chart. Nice daily.
Snap is moving off its lows right here. They're kind of going off of a model I was reading. I think it was like someone said it was like an OnlyFans model or something.
What? They're
you
competing
can-
with OnlyFans now?
No, not in that aspect. It's like with like how like you can pay like your creators or whatever that you like on Snapchat, something like that along those lines. To get
there's
more
supposed
access
to be
to them.
embedded payment within the app, I believe, right?
Yes, something like that. But they're comparing it like your best example of that. I mean, it's not a good example, but that's what they were referring
Look,
to
I
that
mean,
as.
Snap had a really good earnings report. And it's definitely, I think it's pretty cheap. The problem is regulatory concern.
Yeah.
On this earnings call, I pinpointed it down. I was listening to the conference call and watching the price action at the same time. And when things started turning and going down, because initially it was up, and it started turning and going down when they said that they had to remove, I think it was 400,000 accounts in Australia due to that law in Australia.
For minors.
Yeah, they said, yeah, we had to remove 400,000 accounts, and then the thing just reversed and never came back since then. Like, so yeah, everyone knew that was happening, but once it was like on paper, and they're like, oh, it actually really happened. Like, okay, then the people got really negative on this because then there's also, was it Spain? I think that wanted
Yep.
to follow in Australia's footsteps, and then I hear there's like
Few
different
other
things
countries.
happening. Yeah, but also in the United States on a state by state level, there's some things going on in certain states to try to, get age verification, the under 18 thing going on.
Texas has had that in for a long time. That creates a huge problem for the internet.
Yeah, without a doubt. Hey guys, check out someone put it out. I mean, this chart's pretty interesting. It's ATOM, ATOM.
Oh, yeah.
ATO. I don't know this one.
Yep.
Atomera. Oh, I've heard of
Been
Atomera.
watching that.
Wow,
Never
look at
traded
that.
this man.
15% move. Right. Look at that 200-week moving. Whoa.
Right
Whoa,
to
whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Look at the daily.
There must have been news on this one. There must have been significant news on this one.
Yeah, the daily chart looks great.
Yeah.
February 17th. Let's try that.
And your next target is going to be.
No, maybe not. Maybe they just
755.
targeted this. It looks like maybe there wasn't news. It looks like maybe some traders have just targeted it because of a high
You think?
short
Hold on,
position.
looking.
4.6 million versus a
Yeah,
free
it is,
float of
people.
30.
You know,
15%
Timothy Sykes
short.
put it out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did. Look, they're targeting the options, the
A bunch
750.
of other.
They're
big
targeting
people
the
on X.
750 call option. I hate this kind of
Yep.
stuff. To be honest with you, I hate it with a passion. I don't like trading like this, and I don't like following the people who do this. Like they just like target, specific option. They have their entire community buy it. They have everyone an extra to buy the options, and then it gets caught on scanners, and it moves the stock. All right, congratulations, you can make money that way. I despise this type of stuff. Personally, I know laptop. You're probably cooler with it, just trading the chart. But like when I see that there's no news around it and it's just a pump, I usually just turn the other way. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I
no,
don't have the conviction in it.
I don't
don't have
like
the
those
conviction.
tactics at all. And a very famous a person out there, and Red knows who it is. Got burned for 70,000 doing that a few weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I mean, they tried pumping RR last week.
Yeah.
And
always
it
something.
didn't work. Yeah, it was a couple big accounts too. They bought the $4. Yeah, wow, it really collapsed on them. I think they were buying the $4 calls last week in huge size, and they were like pumping it all over X, and it failed on them. I hate that kind of trading. It's just disgusting to me, but whatever.
It'll be that way. Well, same thing with Open and ASST. If you look at those daily charts, they crashed and burned.
Yeah.
And they were pumped.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's get yeah. They have a business model going, and if you're close to the inner circle, or whether it's just by knowing the folks, or whether you're in their whatever highest paid tier it is, like the first people who buy, they'll make quick money and they'll sell to the people in the lower tier, and then they dump it on everyone on X, and it's a whole scam. And I don't endorse that kind of stuff. So yeah, look at Atomera, and I looked at it, and I just turned the other way. That's my thoughts on it. Anyway, wow, this USO is so strong. Look at the FChat still going. Holy smokes!
Snap surpasses 25 million subscribers. Snap exceeds 1 billion annualized revenue run rate.
Did they just release an update?
I think this was earlier. Hold on,
Snap. Oh yeah, 1107 on Benzinga. On Benzinga Pro here. It's an article. It just came out. Yeah. So got this link from Benzinga Pro. Snap's direct revenue business reaches 1 billion in its own run. Its subscription community surpasses 25 million. I mean, I don't know. I'm almost tempted to jump into this because I've been watching this for a while, and they've kind of inflected to profitability here. If I'm, yeah, revenue 1.7 billion, 1.5. You're talking about. I mean, this thing trades at a really low valuation compared to its social media peers, like really low. It has very poor sentiment because of the regulatory aspect, and also like concerns about the business model and young people, like how much money. But look, you're looking at right now, 1 billion annualized revenue run rate. They're making money. So like, for how long are you going to say like kids, are not a good business model? I mean, I don't know.
Tell that to the cereal companies knew that a long time ago in the 1960s.
Yeah, you can always put ads in front of them, and then they'll tell their parents to buy something or use their parents' credit card if they're a little bit older.
Oh yeah, Soupy Sales. You're not.
What's interesting is we never talked about Open Door. Bank of America bought a bunch of shares.
I think I saw that the other day.
But
Yeah,
interesting.
But here's another example, though, Rhett, of they when it's pumped like this, like it's like, who was it? Is it Eric Jackson behind this?
Yeah, it was Eric Jackson.
Yeah.
And his out there with like price targets of like 300 or some bullshit like that, right? It makes me just it turns me off. Like, I don't do the research. Like, when you're like that pumpy, it turns people off. And even if there's something legitimate behind it, I just become like closed-minded to it, unfortunately. But hey, go ahead with what you're saying.
No, I was gonna say I saw some images and stuff of them selling houses. I mean, people are gonna like that. I mean, they don't like giving realtors all this money. So, I mean, if you're gonna have these straight fees of however much it was listing a house, like they were listing houses with, it was like I think 1 or 5% off of whatever the price was of the actual house because you're taking the realtor out of the question. I mean, most people are gonna list that because I mean you're talking substantial money, sometimes $20,000-$30,000 each house when you're selling.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an opportunity to disrupt, 100%.
But it's an easy business model to copy, probably. And let's also remember that you may not get the same protection with a home, right? Maybe something happens down the road and they get a lot of dissatisfied buyers that weren't protected because they didn't have a buyer's agent protecting them during the purchase. So, which I think
but I mean, you can, if nowadays, I mean, you can build those tools in. I feel like, especially now, it's just finding a product that's a stickiness that everyone's going to use. Like, what is it? Redfin that does only 1%, I think, is the other one. Like that took off during COVID. I remember.
There's what's the other one? The one that I was following before. But anyway, I don't know. Hey, so right now at this moment, I'm 1 cent away from going back into silver.
You're going back.
I'm looking at the SLV chart, yeah. And if we break, we just did. Never mind. We just broke 70.50. That's my number, 70.50. I think we have the potential to go back here easily to 86. So I'm in.
All right.
I've been pretty good so far.
Yeah,
6 out of 6.
Yeah,
amazing.
You've been crushing it.
You have been.
We have 3 minutes.
How about the gold
I think it's
chart?
REFI.
I mean, they'll move in the same direction, I guess, but maybe
No,
maybe the
not
gold
really.
chart's a clue because I think the gold chart looks even better than the silver chart.
It's just
no.
percentages.
Yeah. And maybe by the way, gold and silver pop on maybe that's
RGFM.
also acts as a war hedge, by the way. So another reason to own
Sure.
it. Is anyone playing Netflix with me?
I was thinking of getting leaps, if anything.
Oh, not like the weeklies.
No. I was thinking of going out like a year and picking up like it's at 77, so I'll pick up like the $90 leap calls a year.
I'm up 10% on the Netflix calls right now. The weeklies 78. Look at that. I just love the news and I love the chart. And
I don't know, this weekly and daily chart. It's just the daily chart looks ugly to me. I mean,
does it?
yeah. I mean, where's your support? I mean, yeah, you have a little support here, but I don't know if that doesn't hold. This thing goes a lot lower. I mean, yeah, the deal and everything just dragged this down, so you may see it turn around, but
I
weekly
don't
chart.
know. I really feel it. I really feel like this latest catalyst is the beginning of the uncertainty being lifted. So I don't know. I really like
Yeah,
it.
you're
But
normally early to stuff like this, so I won't be surprised.
let's see. I'm sticking with it.
Daily,
Maybe-
the daily 5-minute chart looks pretty good though to curl back up to the highs for
Yeah.
today. All right, you guys have any final words? We have 1 minute left.
Final words is we're having fun. You know,
Yep.
I put out in a blog update for our Discord last night that it has been difficult last few weeks. I've been basically break even over the last 2 to 3 weeks because there's been crazy volatility and rotation, and every time I have a big win, I have a big loss right after it. So I could have handled that better, but overall, we've had so many really ridiculously accurate calls in our Discord with the opportunity for people to lock in their gains, and there are a few people who are up substantially here, even through the drawdown the last few weeks. But most of us in our community were just about break even over the last couple weeks, which is pretty good considering a lot of people have been probably crushed. I'm up 33, 34% year to date, which pales into comparison. I know Godfather's been on a sabbatical. He chimed in a few weeks ago. He's like, I'm up 300% year to date. So he is absolutely crushing it. I don't know about you guys. If you want to share, you can. But we're having a good time of it over in our Discord. And sometimes it's all about just staying in the game and capital preservation until things turn in your favor. So that's what I try to do right now when markets aren't as favorable. It's just like try to just stay steady. Try not to lose money. Keep your capital, and then eventually things will turn, and you'll be there for that big payday. That's my final thoughts.
Please keep some money on the side, because if there is a geopolitical event, you're gonna want to have the opportunity to get a great deal, and it's coming.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely. All right, guys.